Welcome to This Just In, the show bringing you the latest advancements in healthcare, strategy, innovation, and public policy. And now, for the fastest voice in healthcare, here's your host, Justin Barnes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the special edition of This Just In Radio. I'm your host, Justin Barnes. Today, we're broadcasting live from HIMSS25 in sunny Las Vegas. Very excited to be here. It's already been an action-packed 72 hours. The HIMSS annual conference is always the centerpiece of my annual schedule, and this happens to be my 25th HIMSS annual conference and my 11th year broadcasting from the annual conference. Even in 2020, the COVID year, we still had the broadcast and all of the same amazing guests. We just hosted this broadcast remotely and all of my guests dialed in. Many of the same leaders you're going to hear today and over the next couple of days, like Hal Wolf, Rasu Shrestha, Anish Chopra, and many more familiar names. I feel very fortunate to be able to broadcast annually from HIMSS. Hal Wolf, Albie Zakes, Morgan Searles, and the entire HIMSS team have been extremely supportive, and I'm extremely and tremendously grateful. Also, I can make a special note of thanks to Roberta Mullen, Greg Masters, Carol Flagg, and the entire Healthcare Now radio team for their tremendous support and managing the demands of my HIMSS broadcasts annually and the recordings. Also, I'm eternally grateful to all of my hundreds of guests throughout the years, and certainly to all of my loyal listeners. We owe all of this show's success to you, and we still are so honored to have won the Sway Health 2024 Healthcare Podcast of the Year award that never gets old, but rather challenges us to get better every day with every broadcast and every conference. Which leads us to today. This is the start of 3 days, 5 shows, and over 40 guests here in Las Vegas for HIMSS25. We have our best lineup yet of CEOs, CIOs, CTOs, care providers, researchers, policy leaders, and visionaries joining the show. As many of you know, my goal for broadcasting live each year from these key conferences is to create an information medium that shares best practices, key strategies, and actionable intelligence from the industry's leading sources and experts. My objective, along with all my guests here, will be to offer tactics and strategies to not only survive, but to thrive as you navigate your hospital, your physician practice, your company, or even your family through all these changes occurring across healthcare today. There is more opportunity than ever before for all of us to thrive, but we must understand how healthcare is evolving, how policy and reimbursement is shifting, and where best practices and innovation can support our efforts. I hope you glean all of this over the next few days. That's at least my goal. Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Just In. We're broadcasting live from HIMSS25 from the AMD booth in sunny Las Vegas. Very excited to be here. It's already been an action-packed 72 hours since we landed. This is our second broadcast over 3 days, 5 total shows, and over 40 guests here in Las Vegas from HIMSS25. This is personally my 25th HIMSS annual conference and 11th year broadcasting my radio show from the HIMSS annual conference. But without further ado, I'm very excited to introduce my first guest and good friend from Peoria, Illinois, Joe Morrow, Director of Technology Services at OSF Healthcare. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
It's been a good conference. When did you get in town?
We got in yesterday.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. And what do you plan to do for the next couple of days? Just speaking and learning and...
I'm doing the learning part.
Yeah.
I'll be done with the speaking after we're done here.
Okay. Awesome. I agree. I love it. So what progress are you most excited about seeing in the industry today?
In the industry, I'm really excited about the consolidation efforts that we've got going on.
Yep.
Right? It's always a struggle for data center providers like we are.
Yep.
It's always a struggle. Everything's moving to the cloud.
Right.
But internally, we've got a lot of flexibility with what we manage in the data center. That we do a hybrid type version where we do workloads in the cloud where they're needed, but I'm super excited at some of the new technology we've got out now that lets us do more in less space for less cost. It's fantastic.
Excellent. Yeah, we did that. We did a case study with you guys, kind of partnered with Dell, AMD, and OSF, created a case study, and you had some phenomenal results. Why don't we take a second just to go through some of those highlights? You spoke right before we came on air about your results and some of your ROI, but hit on that high note.
Absolutely. So in addition to our performance gains, we went live with Epic Bergamo chip for our Epic environment. We're a fairly sizable installation, right?
Yep.
Where we turn, actually just currently we're about 31 million GREFs.
Yep.
And if you're familiar,
yes.
That's a sizable install.
It is.
But as we converted from IBM to the AMD platform, we were able to consolidate 3 racks of equipment into 3 2U servers. Fantastic. So we reduced our power, our heat and cooling, and everything's running spectacular. From a budgetary standpoint, just in the conversion, our capital cost alone was about half of what we'd forecasted if we stayed on the IBM platform.
Right.
And our maintenance cost, we were able to save, we cut about $700,000 out of our maintenance on a yearly basis, and this is locked in. We expect this platform to run for 5 years.
Yeah, no, extremely exciting. So what healthcare, kind of putting your thought leader hat on,
Sure.
what healthcare or trends are you seeing in the industry today?
So for us, it's really a shared services model that's really attractive to us. We've been doing this now I'm with OSF Healthcare, but
Yep.
we started a company, Point Core.
Yep.
Point Core was really built on the original idea of shared services because we know not every healthcare system is as robust as what we have in our staff.
Absolutely.
We work with a lot of smaller hospitals that just don't have access to the same resources we have.
Yep.
We're blessed in that aspect that we've got good talent. We're rapidly growing, so we're able to sustain where we're going. But smaller rural hospitals are challenged. A good example of that is when we started, we envisioned a model of bringing other like-minded healthcare systems together.
Yep.
And merging our overhead departments, right? Like IT was a good example. And didn't really get a lot of traction on that other than our networking side. We partnered with a company out of Iowa, Fiber Utilities Group, and we're running our own carrier-grade fiber optic network. We've got about 1,500 miles of fiber, and what that's allowed us to do is come in and offer services to rural hospitals,
Right.
where we can get them connected in a safe environment. As you go in, we do work in acquisitions and other consulting, but you see some of these hospitals really don't have access. They'll have access to IT people. A geek squad doesn't know what to do in a healthcare environment, right? They
Yes.
probably can't spell HIPAA. But what this has allowed us to do is we can come in, provide a service to a healthcare organization, take that burden of maintaining IT, especially in our cybersecurity threat area,
Absolutely.
and allow them to do healthcare, and we can take care of the rest. We've expanded that now from IT to supply chain services, to facilities, and we even do construction. So we're building our own hospitals, we're building hospitals for other people.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time to be a part of what we're doing.
Yeah, and you kind of answered my next question on, what are some best practices that you would share, how to help people navigate those trends. And so you guys obviously created Point Core,
Yep.
offering those shared services out. We actually had another show this morning, and had AWS on and talking about what they're doing in a lot of rural communities, because we can't, those systems, if they're not redundant, if they're not managed in the type of environment that you're talking about, that might be the only care that they have in that community. They may be 100 miles without a care center. That is the only one. So those systems can't go down. They need to have the right strategy.
Absolutely.
So I think that's exactly what you bring without even realizing all that. But so expand upon that. So talk about your strategy from Point Core and some other trends that or best practices to navigate those trends.
Sure, okay, so as we look, IT itself, healthcare IT is different than the rest of IT, right?
Yeah.
Anytime we interview somebody that comes in for a position, they work at an engineering company, whatever you do. Caterpillar is large in Peoria, as you know.
Yep.
And everybody thinks mission critical at Caterpillar is when the line stops. Well, you know what? You just don't build a tractor that day, right?
Right.
In healthcare,
Yeah, good
every
point.
minute of every day, we've got a patient
That's right.
under our care.
Right.
We service over 1 million patients just in our service area alone.
Yeah.
And downtime can't happen. So everything we do is based upon layers of redundancy, not only in our technical areas, but in our processes. So when we can come in and do the same IT as somebody else, but help to educate on the processes and everything that goes around it to ensure you can deliver critical care when it's needed, yeah, that's really the value and where I see focus needs to be placed.
Absolutely. Exciting. Again, more putting the thought leader hat on here. What do you see as a key strategy or trend that we need to be ready to navigate in 2 to 3 years from now?
2 or 3 years, the challenge is going to be AI, right?
Yep.
You can't swing a cat in here without hitting an AI booth, right?
Swing a cat. That's a great analogy. I like that. Let's keep going down. That's good. Yeah, you're right.
But
actually.
and it's using it responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
AI's got its place, and there are some super exciting areas out there now. We're in a partnership now with Epic to build out DAX, the ambient ordering portion.
Excellent.
And that, if you've been to a clinician recently, you pretty much know the side of their head because they're sitting on a computer typing into their screens, right?
Yep.
They want to make sure that they've got your medical record complete. When you can introduce AI in an interesting way, so a doctor can have a conversation with you, and all of the information is captured, it's a transformative in healthcare, right? Being able to mine the data out of that conversation. And then what we're trying to do with Epic is to take that to the next level and be able to introduce ordering and really move that needle on providing care without having to do all the manual pieces.
Excellent. Excellent. So what do you hope to accomplish over the next couple of days here at HIMSS25?
It's a perfect opportunity for us. You know, we're located in Peoria.
Yep.
There aren't that many technology companies around, right?
Yep.
We're all connected, but this is a good chance to get face-to-face.
Yep.
Learn more from different emerging technologies and really kind of solidify our relationships. I didn't mention it before, but a key portion, we invest a lot in our strategies. And when we take partnerships very seriously. The biggest challenge we have now is venture capitalist is a really evil word, right?
Right. No.
But where it hits us is we're making an investment in a technology and a process, and that it takes a long time to move the ship in a certain direction.
Right.
And when the landscape changes, because we've invested in perpetual licensing and we're doing maintenance, and it's switched to a subscription model with additional services that we don't need, reimbursables in healthcare are very tight. There are organizations that have for-profit, they do surgeries all the time, and that's a gravy train, right?
Right.
But for those of us at our at critical care facilities that don't have, that service general populations,
You got it.
we are a Catholic not-for-profit, so we are a destination center. Every penny counts, and putting more money into a software company's bottom line doesn't necessarily relate to the best care for our patients. So we're really reevaluating our strategies to make sure that we're removing the potential areas where we can get left behind.
Yep.
Right? You see it in the headlines. Every company's getting bought. They're turning up to subscriptions, and there just isn't more money to come from healthcare.
Right. So spend 1 second. We've got a minute or so left.
Sure.
Talk about, you have a nun that sits on your board, correct? Is it, you have a sister?
Oh, yeah,
nun?
the sisters.
Sisters.
Yep, sisters, yes.
So talk about that for a second. I was very impressed walking around your facility, seeing all the great signs and the verses, the Bible verses on the walls, and I love that. Talk about that.
So that's the best part.
Yes.
Is I came to healthcare about 12 years ago. I've serviced all different industries, and every company I've been in has been either sold off or acquired by somebody else.
Yep.
And those were all functions to make somebody money, make somebody rich.
Right.
I chose to come to OSF. Sister Judith Ann was our chairman of the board, but she's now stepped aside a bit. But she believes everybody has a calling to come to OSF. And the best thing is, every decision we make is based on, is it right for the patient? Is it good for our communities?
Right.
We've taken over a hospital when they closed in a rural community. The sisters knew that we needed to provide care in that area. Exactly. Otherwise, everybody would have to travel an hour.
That's right.
We agreed to come in. We evaluated the facility and what services need to be cared. And we lobbied the state of Illinois to stand up a freestanding emergency department to allow for care in the community to be able to escalate out.
Yep.
And I don't know if you know, in small towns, right? All small towns used to have factories, schools, hospitals, car dealers. Yep. When the factories pull out, the only employees you have left are healthcare systems and schools.
Yep.
And these communities cannot survive without their healthcare system.
Right.
So what we're doing with PointCore is in line with the Sisters' mission to provide care for, to improve the quality of life for the communities that we serve. And it's amazing.
Extremely rewarding. Thank you very much, Joe. Joe Morrow, OSF Healthcare. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Always great to see you. Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you. Welcome back to This Just In Radio Show, broadcasting live from HIMSS25 in sunny Las Vegas. Very excited to introduce my next guest and friend of the show, Sandra Colner, Global GM and Senior Director of Healthcare and Life Sciences for Dell. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. You've been on the show before, so you're obviously a great friend. When did you get in town?
On Sunday night in a fabulous windstorm.
Yeah.
It was one for the record.
Yeah, we got in Sunday as well, was it? Yeah, and we had to abort our landing because we had such a gust as we were coming in. It pushed the plane sideways, and we had to abort and go back up.
I thought we were close. So but we landed. We landed with some good brakes.
Good. Yeah, we all clapped. We were having to survive through it. Fantastic. So, obviously, Dell got a great presence here. But before we dive in, what are you most excited about seeing in the industry right now?
Wow. Well, there's a lot to be excited about.
I agree.
I'm really excited about AI in healthcare, and it's particularly in life sciences. A lot of the AI innovation that's starting to come to fruition. It is absolutely exciting, and I'm seeing a lot of leaps forward, especially at the show here.
Yeah.
It's been great.
It's been we're starting to see some of the pieces of it starting to come together, and we're seeing now the progress that we're making, which is exciting to see.
Yeah.
So, so the next couple of days, what do you hope to achieve here at the conference?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's a listening opportunity, right? This is the best place to listen to the perspective of customers, to hear and to really understand problem statements so that we can then make that perfect match and make that matchmaking with technology and continue to make that leapfrog into reality.
Absolutely. So what are some of the trends that you're seeing out there? I mean, you talked about AI, but what are some of the trends that you're seeing out there in the industry, either trends or things that we got to navigate in healthcare? So.
Well, personalized medicine is something that that I've been, seeing and have been having some really good conversations about over the last couple of days here already, because I started early.
Yep. Absolutely.
But I think it's looking at the responses in transforming treatments, how we can use all of the great genomics and both genome and exome sequencing now for AI predicted treatments.
Yep.
I'm also seeing kind of a reduction in side effects, right? We're able to better match drugs to individuals' cases, right? And that is a reduction, not only in the side effects, but the patient care, right? And we're not having to then treat additional things that are happening there. That, to me, that is incredible.
Significant. Yeah, you're talking directly to a patient right there, and not even better care planning, better utilization of medications and care treatment plans and all that. So absolutely.
It's that synergy, right, between technology and medicine coming together in a exactly how we can innovate together.
Yep, I love it. So what are, talking about best practices, what would you suggest people do? What are some best practices or strategies to navigate those trends in healthcare? Would you advise?
Well, let's see. So to successfully navigate some of the emerging trends, I think first it's really crucial for us to be thoughtful about our IT infrastructure and our strategies and our budgets.
Yeah, well, very true. Certainly nowadays, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's at the root of it. And we really need to take the time to kind of thoroughly investigate kind of where the current spending is, where it's being allocated, and then kind of anticipate those future needs.
Yep.
I think that proactive approach is, really kind of ensures the investment and will help organizations meet their long-term goals, so that they're, they're ready, and they're ready to kind of adopt new technologies as they're ready.
Yep.
Yes, kind of the second thing is, we kind of easily get caught up sometimes in creating an AI strategy, and I think it's equally important, if not more so, to just really develop a governance and understand that governance model.
That's good advice. That's very good advice.
And I think data governance is really essential for accuracy and for privacy, and probably most importantly, security.
Right.
And that's really what we need to make sure that we're facilitating, especially as we're thinking about AI and implementation.
Absolutely.
Right? I guess maybe the third thing that I was thinking about was leveraging kind of some small initiatives to navigate maybe like toward larger scale implementations. So investing the time, seeing what the valuable insights are, and then see how that can then have a larger impact for value for those customers. So those are kind of maybe three of the things I was thinking about.
I love it. So what's Dell's goal? I mean, now for being here at HIMSS. Obviously, you guys have a great presence here, some great partnerships here,
Thank you.
foster a lot of good relationships. But what just in general for you, you in your new role actually with Dell,
Yeah.
what do you think there?
Well, I mean, we're here to partner and be a thought leader and a thought advisor with our customers, right? And I think it's bringing the best of partnerships, like what we've got with AMD and others, right?
Yep.
And bringing those together to help organizations innovate to meet their goals.
Yep.
And to help them get over those pain points and to really kind of to help them meet those achievements. That's my goal. That's the goal of my team. That's the goal of my experts, and that's what I do kind of every day.
Yep, I love it. No, HIMSS in HIMSS, every annual HIMSS conference is what we make it. I mean, there's so much opportunity here. All of our partners are here, old partners or former partners, new partners, and it takes a village to be successful nowadays. I think every guest so far today is talking about how their partnerships are driving their company. We can't do anything alone. No. It takes a village, it takes all of us together. So I love it and love the strategy. So thinking beyond today, what do you see as a key strategy or trend that we need to be ready to navigate in 2 to 3 years from now? What do you think? I know it's a hard question because it's so much.
It is so tough, and I guess with my crystal ball out.
Yeah, love that.
I think as we look, beyond today and we project over those 2 to 3 years, I'm really looking at key strategies that stand out, that really show the importance of the understanding of integrating those key partnerships that we talked about. Yep. And especially as AI is continuing to normalize. Yes. And we look at kind of how we can decentralize in healthcare and help them accelerate right in those adoptions. Yep. So the expansion of both AI and decentralized care models is, it really is reshaping the landscape at a more rapid pace than I think any of us ever imagined. Well,
yeah. I mean, what Gen AI is doing, what we're solving today in 6 months, we couldn't even solve in 5 years before, and sometimes even, we're solving problems from 20 years, and now we can solve them in 3 months or 2 months.
Right.
So yeah,
exactly. So AI. It's amazing, and I think it's going to be vital for providers to really clearly define their roles and responsibilities, and we want to play within this evolving ecosystem. So it's I think we can't overestimate the impact of the value of traditional healthcare.
Absolutely.
But it's fundamentally aligning those strategies with the innovation to really just unleash the value and the innovation together, right?
Yeah.
So, I guess we're also, I think the other thing that I'm excited about is some of the transformation of workflows, right? We're finding operational efficiencies.
Yes,
we're helping organizations what they need now, and we're using the innovations that we have at our fingertips to make that a reality. Right. So that's also, I think, going to just accelerate and continue, and we're going to be better providers, better scientists, and and better clinicians because of it.
Well, and we need that as a country. We deserve that as patients. We've always had the promise. We've always had the promise, but now we're seeing all of that promise come to fruition. But also now, budgets. Budgets are going to be more, not streamlined, but there's going to be more pressure on the budgets. And so using technology, using innovation, using your partnerships to scale to provide the best care possible is more important than ever. That's kind of a resounding theme on every single one of my shows today, is how can we do more with less?
Yes, 100%. And do more with less, but also just get as much value as possible.
Absolutely.
And it's value on a variety of continuum. Value to the patient, first and foremost, value to the provider, and I think all of that is really showing our outcomes that we really need to be successful in.
I agree. And it's almost on cue, because I was thinking about your mutual customer with AMD, OSF Healthcare.
Yes.
You guys had this great ROI study, and right behind you on the monitor, the study came up right on the screen talking about the 7-figure savings that OSF Healthcare got, and that's what came to mind when you were just talking. Like God got on cue right there. It was perfect.
We're just right in sync.
It's awesome. I love it. Sandra Colner, thank you so much for joining us again on the show. You're a great guest. We appreciate you every time.
Thank you so much.
You got it. All the best. Have a great rest of your conference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. That's a wrap from Las Vegas and HIMSS25. Thank you all for listening. And I certainly want to offer a note of gratitude to the dedicated partners of my weekly syndicated show. And also, again, thanks to everyone who voted us 2024 Healthcare Podcast of the year. Thank you so much, Roberta Mullen, Greg Masters, Carol Flagg, and the entire crew at the Healthcare Now Radio Network. They've also been producing my show for 11 years, and it's a true blessing to be able to do this every single year. Also, a special note of thanks to Jake Reed, my head of media. Jake did a phenomenal job managing our remote broadcast while here at HIMSS25 and recording from the conference floor and within the AMD booth, as well as the Amazon Web Services Theater. So thank you very much to Jake, and many thanks to all of my show partners, AMD and AWS, and also a shout out to Medallion here, who gave me water for my shows, certainly my lasting shows. So thank you very much to not only AMD and AWS, but certainly Medallion. And then also Bright Hour has a foundation that I want to make a special shout out to. Sevi Browning, Georgia HIMSS, she put together this new foundation to help with workforce development and education in health IT. So Sevi Browning, she's fantastic. HIMSS Georgia chapter, they're always great partners and supporters of my radio show. Great people. So look up Bright Hour Foundation and give her some love and support. And certainly a big thank you to Hal Wolf, Albie Zakes, Morgan Searles, the entire HIMSS team. They're always extremely supportive in the events and broadcasting requirements that I have. And again, thank you so much to all my listeners. We're grateful for you. You make us better with every broadcast. And that's a wrap from Las Vegas. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.